So a big problem that a lot of people have with the Magic Keyboard from Apple is that when you get your iPad and set it in the keyboard case, it looks great, but now the sides are very unprotected. That is absolutely true. It is one of the downsides. To me, I'm not as concerned about that. I haven't dropped my iPad much. I don't really ding it up too badly either. So it's not a big deal to me. However, there are ways to solve that issue too with something like the CoverBuddy case from MAGEASY. They are a sponsor to this video, but all these opinions are my own. So first, let's just slot in the iPad here so it's easiest to go and connect the back side first, then these sides, and now you have a nearly fully protected iPad. And right here, it gets like a faux leather texture as well, which feels very premium. And it transfers the smart connector through the case. So then you can just take it and magnetize it right back to the keyboard case. So it is fully compatible with the Magic Keyboard. So this is that solution if you're wanting to have the sides and top section of your iPad covered. There's still a little gap right here by the corners, but pretty much anything that would hit is going to be protected. And a interesting side effect is it actually makes opening the iPad one-handed way more doable. Because it has this spot for the Apple Pencil, you can actually use that and just lift with one thumb, and boom, now you got the Magic Keyboard all opened up. And of course, with the Apple Pencil here, you can slot that in and that works just fine. And then there's this cutout on the back to push out the Apple Pencil, and it kind of usually pushes it into this position and you can just grab it from there. I will say I personally wished they opted for a just really thin section of case right there where you can still magnetize the pencil onto it and you don't have this big cutout every time you take the pencil out. I understand why they do it. It's way more secure for the Apple Pencil, but it's not my favorite look when you have the pencil detached, and it's a little hard to get to it because you can't just take it off anymore. You gotta kind of come from the back, pop it out, and take it. It's a very minor issue, but I would have preferred it if it was a little different there. But another benefit of the Magic Keyboard is being able to just rip off the iPad and taking it and using it. But most people don't do that because, let's be honest, when this comes off the keyboard, it's a naked iPad, and all of us are a little concerned and cautious just holding and handling your iPad, which is $1,000 or more, without any kind of protection. So this way, it's still very minimal protection. You can easily use it with the Magic Keyboard, pop it off, and now use it as a tablet, and you got something still around it to feel more safe. Some of you guys are not gonna need the extra protection of this case, but for those who were concerned that there's no way to protect the sides of your iPad with the Magic Keyboard, don't be concerned anymore. This completely works. It's very compatible with it. It does push it out just ever so slightly from the hinge right there. You see that small bulge, but other than that, it's not adding any thickness to the iPad here when collapsed, and it is not that much more weight either. It is still some more weight, and since the Magic Keyboard's already a little top heavy, just know this worsens the experience in your lap a little bit more, makes it a bit more wobbly. Again, it's kind of already had that issue beforehand, so this isn't changing it much, but adding any more weight will do that. I don't think that's a big drawback though. I've been using this for almost 2 weeks now. I was gonna make a video on it way earlier, but I moved houses and that took up way more time than I expected it to. So I had lots of time to just keep trying this out in my day-to-day life, and I have not thought about taking it off at all. It's been working great. Like seriously, one of my favorite features about this is how it makes the iPad feel a lot more one-hand friendly. I am just a huge fan of that. So that's the basics of the CoverBuddy. Already a pretty compelling product, but there's some other things that it's supposed to do for you and some other use cases you can have for it. But while I'm mentioning all the weight and things like that, I have an actual scale here. So let's see how much it weighs with everything attached Magic Keyboard, Apple Pencil, everything. So it is 1,147 grams for the 11-inch iPad Pro with all those accessories. So now we're trying it without the CoverBuddy, but everything else is the same. So Apple Pencil, Magic Keyboard, iPad Pro is 1058. So yeah, this adds not even 100 grams to your iPad. That's pretty incredible considering the added protection and peace of mind that this can offer. And if you notice, there's this little section right here on the CoverBuddy where it says MAGEASY utilizes graphene thermal technology, ensuring efficient heat dissipation. Built for productivity, CoverBuddy is where technology meets protection. So it's actually saying it can improve your thermal performance by having this case on. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to test that. So this is the 3D Mark Steel Nomad Lite test. And I'm going to do the stress test in unlimited mode. This is a 20-minute test. So it's gonna take a little bit here, and we're gonna run this benchmark, and then we're gonna add this cover and run the benchmark again and see if it really does improve thermal performance over an extended period of time. So starting with the iPad with no CoverBuddy case, this is the control test. I had to do this after I recorded the video because my iPad was at 6% during the recording of the video. So yeah, it wasn't gonna last. So I had to charge it up and then run these tests. So that's one test down. Now let's go ahead and look at the next test. This time it does have the CoverBuddy case on it. I don't know why the screen's a little off center, but it went that way. I think it was a bug with iPadOS 26. However, it doesn't really matter because the test works just the same anyway. But now let's look at the results. So first up, for the iPad without the CoverBuddy, it got 3454 for its best loop score, 2731 for the lowest loop score, and a 79% stability. Then with the CoverBuddy, it got 3768 and 2717 is its lowest, and then a 72% stability score. So not really an improvement, but that's actually the point. It's supposed to make the measured temperature difference between it with the case and without minimal. And I think it does accomplish that. There is a only slight difference, and it helps way more than I know of any other case manufacturer to help. They're at least trying to make an effort to not have your iPad become a furnace just when using one heavier app. And lastly, another use for this case can be with a Folio for the iPad. And this CoverBuddy can attach right to this Folio, and the Folio fully closes and works with the iPad, and it now adds extra protection on all of the sides. So if you still like to use your iPad with Folio cases and the Magic Keyboard together, you can do that with still having this case be kind of the bridge between them, and know that you have something on your iPad when you take it out of either of them. And that is pretty comforting, and you can still do all the crazy dynamic Folio angles that you could do before. No issues there. It is, again, a little heavier. It adds that extra 100 grams, which isn't nothing. You can feel it. It makes it a little less stable in some of the more elevated angles, but especially for a standard Folio, you're gonna have no issues with this providing just some extra protection and a spot for the Apple Pencil. Like, for example, the Apple Folio is a great companion for this case as well, because Apple insists on not adding any option for Apple Pencil security, it seems. So yeah, that's my review of the MAGEASY CoverBuddy for the 11-inch iPad Pro. And yeah, it's a really compelling product. I think for anyone who's having doubts about keeping your iPad safe, but you still want to use those first-party accessories or any Folio that doesn't have side protection, this can be a really good peace of mind. Now, you are paying for basically another Folio's price for this, but if you put in perspective of protecting a $1,000 iPad Pro, it might be worth it. That's up to you and you personally. You're gonna have to decide that. I can't tell you what makes the most sense financially for you. But the fact that it can actually reduce the heat on the iPad itself and long-term performance, and even battery health, because the less heat on the iPad, the better the battery will stay for years to come. So all I have to say, well done, MAGEASY. I think this is a great companion for the iPad Pro. Another quick complaint is I'm not a huge fan of these volume buttons. They are pretty stiff and hard to click the actual volume knobs here. They did a cutout for the power button, that works just fine. I kind of just wish they cut out for this or just made the buttons a little easier to press. I think as I've been doing it more, it's gotten a little looser, so maybe it just will give a bit with time, but as of right now, it's just a little annoying using those buttons. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Plenty more iPad content coming, plenty more tablet content coming. I got so many of these e-ink tablets now. I want to do all these different kind of comparisons with the iFlyTech one that you guys should have just seen a video on, and a new one coming out real soon that you should see my first impressions on that doesn't even use e-ink. It uses LCD, but without a backlight. They call it RLCD, or reflective liquid crystal displays. So this is a really, really interesting device. Runs full Android 14, but no downside of blue light and things like that. So way more tablet content coming. Please stay tuned for all that. There might be a new Penstar tablet coming soon, but you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, guys, be subscribed for all the content coming. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and comment down below if you would want to use something like this with your iPad, or what case you use with your iPad currently. If you like the equipment that I use in this video and you want some of that for your own setup, all of it's going to be linked in the description down below, as well as the MAGEASY CoverBuddy. Thanks again for them for sponsoring this video. When I say a video is sponsored, just for the record, guys, it is not me saying I have sold my soul to the sponsor and I will speak their message to you always. No, if there's something that bothers me about a product, or something I don't like, I am going to be honest with you guys and just tell you. This product is not perfect for everybody, but it just might be perfect for you or one of you guys out there, if this is what you've been looking for your iPad. And as always, guys, have a great rest of your day.